Anusha?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yes.
I want all of you to unmute yourself and give a round of applause. Let's bring the energy back. Please unmute yourself and give a round of applause. Louder, louder. Louder, guys, louder. Please unmute yourself, timer. Everyone. Please mute yourself. A very good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization initiated by the leader Ralph C. Medley with the sole motto to improve communication and leadership skills among the members across the globe. Toastmasters International has 15,900 clubs in 142 countries. Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club is one among them. Toastmaster International works on 4 pillars: I for integrity, R for respect, S for service, and E for excellence. The mission of the club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before starting the meeting, here are some of the code of conducts. Speakers are requested to refrain from speaking on sex, religion, and politics. Kindly mute your audio when not speaking. The audience are requested not to interrupt the role players until they are acknowledged by the DMOD. Although virtual, please refrain from using your mobile phones. It's time to start the meeting. For the benefit of guests, all Toastmasters meeting shall be started and ended by one person called the presiding officer. Today's presiding officer is our young and energetic Toastmaster, Arun Kumar. He's working as embedded engineer at Logitech. He's currently serving as our club president. Without further ado, I hand over the control to our presiding officer.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters. So that was a proof that we attended the OTP today. Toastmaster Anusha attended the SA training today, and you saw that vibrant opening that she gave. And so, yes, let's turn on everybody's video here so that like we bring in the energy that we are missing so long in this meeting. So please turn on your videos. It would be great to see all of you. Although we are virtual, we can at least see the faces. So let me go into the meeting straight away. It's our 583rd meeting, and I welcome you all for this wonderful meeting. Now, I was thinking what to talk about for the thought of the week, like what kind of things that probably I should be speaking. So that's when I thought, I read about something which was really, really interesting for me. I thought I'll share it with you. Have you ever heard about this fever called puerperal fever that was existing in Europe, and it was spread in US as well? And it had killed like many of the women who gave birth. This was like after giving birth, in 24 to 48 hours, the women died. So that was a very big problem during the late 1700, 1800 century. And it was like 70% of the hospitals, when they do the surgery, they treat the patient after the maternity, they see that the women were dying. Can you all guess like what could be the reason for it? Have you ever heard about this incident before? Anyone? Okay. And after some while, there was this person called Dr. Orville Wendell Holmes, who came in and said, see, I'm going to tell you why this happened. And he's told the reason as well, why this was actually happening, why so many people were dying. And they ignored him for about 30 years. Not 1 year, 2 years, 30 years. So just think about the situation, how many lives would have been gone. And later, they realized that doing just sterilizing their instruments and washing their hands solved the problem. So what was happening was, in the morning, they were delivering babies, and in the evening some of the people would die and they do autopsy. So when they do autopsy, they usually take all these flesh and things like that, so they do not wash their hands, or they are not so sterilized during those period of time, and they go and treat another patient who is suffering from maternity and they want to give birth. So this happened as a practice. Morning they do autopsy, evening they come here and then like they do this maternity operation. So the infections that they carried from the autopsy bodies, that got spread into the women, and that got infected their urinal or other parts of the intestines, and that's why so many people died. So this was very simple thing that was explained little later, that you just have to wash your hands and sterilize your medical equipments before you do another operation. Now tell me, what is the lesson that you have learned? Can you please somebody unmute your audio and tell me what was the lesson that you learned from this particular history?
Wash your hands.
Okay.
History repeats itself.
Okay.
The importance of being sterile at any given time
Okay.
to avoid death.
Okay.
Even before humans can be, humans can be carrier of infections.
Okay.
Even before COVID, the whole hand washing, sanitizing thing had to be emphasized only through another disease or by loss of lives.
Okay.
You will
There
have to
was-
be patient for your acceptance.
Right. So there was one important thing that you have to remember. So what happened was, that was the period when doctors, medicines, and all these things were really booming up. People thought that not just cleanliness, they are like super scientists, super medical people, and they did not accept their own mistakes that they did. They were fighting a lot to identify why these women were dying. They were doing a lot of research. The research was like 30 years, 40 years in Harvard University and various universities, trying to find out what could be the reason. But the reason were just themselves. Okay. So going on, the biggest lesson that you learn from this particular history is, sometimes the problem is just you. We keep blaming others. We try to find fault in others. We try to see what others are doing and whether that is right or wrong. But most of the cases, if we really try to see what's happening, most of the problem would be just because of you. And as much as we take the credit for whatever success that we see, when somebody appreciates us, when somebody tells us that you have done something excellent, we really feel proud and we feel really happy. But at the same time, when something goes bad, it is always important as Toastmasters and as leaders to take up the responsibility. To say that, yes, that was my mistake. Yes, and I believe I can correct it. So with that thought, I'm really happy to say that we declare the meeting number 583 open. Now let's go into the guest introduction. I see a couple of guests today. Let's go with guest Akila. Can you please unmute and tell about yourself and how did you got to know about Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club?
Hi, I'm Akila Rajendran. I'm an advocate in Chennai, and a fellow Toastmaster, Mr. Gopal Krishnan. He was my colleague at my ex-company, and so he introduced me. I generally like talking, and that's why I'm a lawyer basically. I like public speaking. And I like meeting a lot of new people across all verticals, because I believe that definitely opens up any person's horizons, rather than being, because we are so structured in a particular way, we tend to meet the same kind of people, we live in a particular setup, and by default we attract the same kind of people that we are and we are inclined towards. So I like a gathering where I can meet like-minded people who come from different backgrounds or horizons, and hence I thought this would be nice, and Mr. Gopal Krishnan introduced me to this group. I did attend a few meetings earlier, and before the whole COVID thing came up, I did attend a couple of meetings in Chennai, Anna Nagar. And yeah, so it is. Thank you for having me in today's meeting, and thank you, Mr. Arun Kumar. That was a nice speech. That was a nice anecdote by you. It was knowledge enriching.
Yeah, thank you,
And a
Akila, and
big hi to everybody.
yeah, thank you, Akila, and hope to see you enjoy this meeting today with us. Now let's go on to the guest
Thank you.
Satyanarayanan, who has joined us. Satyanarayanan.
Hi everyone, did you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah.
So my name is R. Satyanarayanan. I've completed my 12th this year. And actually, I'm very scared to talk to everyone here.
You don't
So I
have
don't
to
know.
be. Okay. So how did you get to know about
That's it.
Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club?
I got to know about this from my sister's friend.
Okay.
So she let me. I've seen one of the guest meeting last week. Yes, I've seen that in YouTube. I've seen that.
Okay.
After seeing that, I thought even I should join this. Like, basically, I don't talk a lot. I want to know how to talk actually.
Okay, Satya, you are talking really nice, so you don't really have to feel bad. So, looking forward to see you enjoy this meeting as well. So, let's go on to the next case. We have Jyoti Thomas, who was our past president, who was our past member of Chennai Wordsmiths, and going to be sooner a full-time member of Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. So, let's put our hands together to welcome Jyoti Thomas.
Hi, my name is Jyoti Chamas, as you said. I thought I had already introduced myself last time. Okay. I've been part of Toastmasters for several years, but I'm reinstating myself, interestingly, because of Zach. What I do is I've got a varied background of work experience between US, Canada, and India. I work as a corporate trainer, I'm a resourcer, I'm an event organizer. I curate programs, and I'm senior corporate trainer in terms of soft skills and language. I enjoy people. People are my strength and my weakness, and I'm back here in Toastmasters hoping to enjoy my journey without any competition and just being part of it. That's about it. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Now, going on to the next segment, do we have any other guests that I'm missing out? Do we have any other guests? If not, we'll go further into our segment, which is now for the benefit of the guests, you should be knowing what is special about Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. There are about 600 Toastmasters Club in Tamil Nadu. Why should I be coming into Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club? So here is some highlights about Chennai Wordsmiths. So it is one of the oldest clubs in Chennai. It has produced a lot of champions at district level, divisions level. And it has produced a lot of leaders who have been district leaders, division leaders, and they have climbed a lot in with respect to their career as well. It's a highly competitive and supportive environment. We have a membership of over 50 amazing people from different backgrounds with different culture as well. And we have 9 distinguished Toastmasters who is going to be really helping you, giving hands together for all your needs. That's one of the strengths that the club has. And we have been winning this President Distinguished, which is the most highly awarded award of Toastmasters Club. We have been getting this for last 9 years consecutively. That's one proud thing. Another thing is we just recently got Golden Gavel Award, which is the highest recognition that a District 82 gives. So that's about it. I hope you will like Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club. Now, today, every meeting, as far as Toastmasters is concerned, is taken up by one person called the Toastmaster of the Day or the Master of Ceremony. Today, we have a person who is the past president of our club, who is a singer and fondly called as SPB of Chennai Wordsmiths, who is a soft skill trainer who has trained many government officials, a man with a beautiful smile and a man with a lot of expressions, unlike me. So let us put together our hands together for Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and enthusiastic guests, a warm good evening to you all. It gives me great pleasure to be the Toastmaster of the day for this wonderful meeting. Before I proceed with my role, I would like to call the subcommittee member for the secretary of our club, Toastmaster Arvind, to read out the minutes of the meeting, which was held on 11th July. The screen is yours, Toastmaster Arvind.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible to all?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be sharing my screen to present the minutes of the meeting. Okay, so the role players were our club president, Toastmaster Arun Kumar was the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Armugam was the general evaluator, and Toastmaster Mithun, who is the secretary of our club, is the table topics master. Toastmaster Radha was the timer. Toastmaster Arvind was the counter, and Toastmaster grammarian was Toastmaster Anindita. The theme was the lessons from the lockdown which we are having right now. And the word of the day is inestimable. The first speech was given by Toastmaster Sujata, whose title is No Big Deal. So she started the story about how she escaped from traffic while returning from home from work in her car. Narrated a story about conflict management where her apartment manager was solving a parking problem and building short-term and long-term plans. Explaining how conflict management can be practiced on daily problems. Narrated a scenario in her office where she had a conflict with herself, whether to have sweets, and how she arrived with a Master Abraham Zechariah told that the positives were though. The body of the speech was very well written with suitable stories, and the delivery and hand gestures were really good. He recommended that the closing could have been more effective with Anindita, who stated of love.
Arvind, are you there?
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, now you are.
Yeah, okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, the second speech was evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Maithili, and she said that the speech was started well in the beginning with a question to connect the audience. The James and Mary story was very well narrated, and the audience could visualize the story. She created a curiosity in the personal story and made the audience travel along with her in the story. She made a couple of recommendations that the pauses could have been avoided with more rehearsals, and there could be a better transition from first story to second story. Since it's a short meeting, only 3 table topics were possible because we had the moments of truth following that. The first speech was given by Toastmaster Vidyadhar, who was asked the topic of how could you spend 100 days of lockdown without any electronic gadgets such as mobile or laptop. The second table topic by guest Jyoti Thomas, what's the one habit that you had included in your life in the lockdown? And the third table topic was, what would you do if the police seizes your new vehicle in the lockdown time? For the general evaluator report given by Toastmaster Armugam, role players and speakers could have joined early to check connection, and the Toastmaster of the day can introduce the speakers and role players using presentations, since it's an online meeting. This was followed by the moments of truth, where the whole meeting was divided into six breakout rooms for the 6 topics in the minutes on the moments of truth, and one member from each team was presenting the ratings. This is it from the last meeting number 582, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
All right, thank you, Arvind. Really, that was an elaboratory report. Let's applaud for that. Wonderful. Okay, once again, I welcome you all. People say smile is contagious. Yeah, you all agree, right? Stress is contagious. If I am stressed, people around me will be stressed. Why the much talked about the corona is contagious, highly contagious. But today's TM Modi, Paul Bhaskaran, adds to them, enthusiasm is contagious. I'm sure you will all agree with me. True. I would like to cite 3 great performers, a speaker, a singer, and a leader. The world champion of public speaking, Toastmaster Ramona J. Smith, in a speech, if you have noticed, shouts like, round 1, college. Goes on to say, round 2, marriage. And round 3, speaking. What an enthusiasm. Had she not exhibited that enthusiasm, I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't have. All because of enthusiasm, energy, the way how she talked, really, that made her the world champion of public speaking. Next comes a great singer, SPB. Not me, the real SP Balasubramanian. In a song, he says that sky is for you, earth is for you. Why there is a fight for border? As though he knew the Indo-China border. He said, how did he sing? வானம் உனக்கு பூமியும் உனக்கு வரப்புகளோடு சண்டைகள் எதற்கு. What a voice he exhibited. Really. The point I'm trying to convey is the enthusiasm, that enthusiasm made the audience sit straight to enjoy, like how you are captivatingly listening to me. Nice. And the leader, who is a great personality, once a Toastmaster, used a phrase for his electoral address with a strong tonality. Yes, we can, to the millions of listeners. And they followed, and the millions of people followed him say, yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we can. My dear friends, that is what the enthusiasm spread like anything. And that led him to be the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, I'm talking about. As you may have observed, any role we play in our life, your attitude, your tone of voice, and your body language will be visibly reflected if you are enthusiastic. If you are enthusiastic, people around you will be enthusiastic. Now, whoever mentions and relates to the theme, enthusiasm is, can you please unmute and say, enthusiasm is?
Contagious.
Wonderful, wonderful. Grammarian, please make a note, 25 people said. Yeah, great. Enthusiasm is contagious, will be recognized, whoever mentions it will be recognized and rewarded with applause. Friends, applaud is also contagious. If I applaud, people around me will also be applauding. Wonderful. Let's move on to the flow of the meeting. For the purpose of guests, we do have guests here. For the purpose of guests, every Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections. The first one being prepared speech segment, wherein the Toastmasters prepare their speeches in line with the objectives laid down by the Toastmasters International US. Practice well and perform here. The second segment is called table topic segment. This is otherwise known as impromptu speech or other extempore. And then comes evaluation task, which will be performed by the general evaluator with his team members. To know more, let me invite someone who has come all the way from Mexico via online, who is an architect by profession and artist by passion. On the theme, what he says is, ancient Greek quote says, God is within you. It makes you feel fantastic. And when I asked about one enthusiastic leader whom he admires, he says, his grandparents. They are no more, but they were very enthusiastic and kept always their family overjoyed, even in hard times. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Victor Mendoza as the General Evaluator. Let's applaud.
Thank you, my dear friends. The evaluation is the core of Toastmasters, as our founder Ralph Smithly once said, because when you evaluate, you project enthusiasm, and when people fires up, the only thing that they need is a pushing, a kindling to even bright more. So my duty today as General Evaluator is to provide my feedback on everything that runs along the meeting. So it's my pleasure that this is a teamwork. I'm not alone. I have a fabulous team of great Toastmasters that will be part of my tag team. So it's a pleasure to introduce you my timer, Toastmasters Raguraman. My friend, please explain your role to our guests and to our members. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. I am Raguraman Balaji as timer today. I am responsible for keeping track of time usage for all the speakers. I'm just sharing for the time card. At the lower time limit, I will show the green card. At the intermediate time limit, I will show the yellow card. At the upper time limit, I will show the red card.
Thanks. It's amazing to have those street lights back there. It feels like I am driving. So remember to be aware of the screen to all the speakers. Another amazing member of the tag team is our counter, Toastmaster Samyukhtha. Samyukhtha, please explain your duties to our friends and guests.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Samyukhtha, and I will be performing the role of our counter today. As an counter, my job is to make a count of the number of lexical and non-lexical pauses, and the number of lexical and non-lexical fillers and pauses, and any kind of repetitions that you might make. At the end of the session, when called on by the General Evaluator, I will come in to give my report. Thank you.
Thanks to you for explaining those fabulous duties. And finally, but not least, my friend Toastmaster Anindita, who is the grammarian of today. Please share your duties and explain the word of the day too.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. For the benefit of guests, as the grammarian, my duty is to keep note of good and not so good usage of the language used by speakers, all the speakers. So I take the privilege to introduce today's word of the day, zest, meaning great interest, energy, and enthusiasm. For example, Pal Bhaskaran's humor added zest to his performance. So let's encourage the speakers who uses the word of the day or theme of the day by applauding. And all the speakers, please use the word of the day as well as the theme of the day. And I'll produce my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Let's have a zestful meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, my dear friend Anindita. I'm sure we are still having CES meeting this evening. So let's big a round of applause to this amazing tag team. Over to you, Toastmaster Paul.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Victor Mendoza, for the zestful briefing on the general evaluation and the tag team. Good job you have done. Okay, it's time to move on to the speech segment, prepared speech segment. Before I call upon the speaker, let me request the evaluator, the first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, to read out his speech, her speech objectives. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
A couple of thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. My speaker, Toastmaster Sasikala, is attempting her first project from the Pathways program, and this will be the icebreaker project. The objectives of this project are: the speaker has to introduce herself to the club, and also by presenting her project, she will be understanding the basic structure of a public speech. The time allotted for this project is 4 to 6 minutes, and I wish my speaker all the very best. And just to help the timer with the time limit, it is 4 green, 5 amber, 6 red, and 30 seconds grace. I hand over the proceeding back to Toastmaster Ray. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, for listing out the objectives. All right, to talk about our speaker, we have someone whose profession is dentist. Her hobby is travel and cooking. On the theme, what she says is, today she's excited, much excited about everything. One enthusiastic leader whom she admires is Nelson Mandela. Who can forget Nelson Mandela? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Shashikala Panda for delivering her first speech. Please. Good luck to you. The screen is for Shashikala.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
And her speech title is,
thank you,
One Day in Your Life, Toastmaster Shashikala Panda.
Thank you. So, good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tell me, what is the favorite thing to do during the daytime? What is one favorite thing that you would like to do during the day?
Sleeping.
Sleep.
Yeah, I know. See, be it a sunrise or a sunset or watching a series or it's sleeping, I know we share a lot of common interest right here. So I came, I'm from a small village. It's a remote place in Karnataka. It's near Mysore. So we are 5-member family. Like my sister is the eldest. She's a veterinary doctor. And then my brother, I'm the eldest. And my brother is an engineer. And my father, he works for FCI. He worked for FCI, Food Corporation India. And my mother is a homemaker. So we basically lived in a village, a bit away from a village, like say it's a half a kilometer from the village on our farmland. We had built our own house on the farmland, and like it's half a kilometer. So we used to have these mud roads leading to the village where we used to walk half a kilometer, and we used to take the bus, and we used to go to the nearby town for the schooling. So that's how it used to be. So these roads, mud roads, used to have this barricade of seasonal flowers on either side. They used to have this mango tree, jamun tree, and we used to have guava, coconut. So it's been shaded and with lot of flowers. And then behind our house, we had this water canal and also a big tamarind tree. So it was very huge and the branches spread, and we had this swing tied on that tamarind tree. So it used to be a favorite spot on the weekend. So when we used to go up and high. So when we come back, we used to have this paddy field. Our feet used to touch that beneath, and it's a lovely feeling then. And And we used to have a lot of plants around the house, like the vegetable, the fruits for the consumption. We used to grow them. So this is also one of the activity during the weekend, like we used to help our parents with. So then after some time, we had to move to the town because of the commuting problems. And after the schooling, then I got into the BDS and completed the graduation. After that, I was very much interested to open the clinic. So then my father insisted I would study a bit further, like I would do my master's and then I can focus on the clinic. So then I completed my master's in research in the year 2008. And then I was like ready to open the clinic. So then I was looking at my fellow dentists and I was like really eager to open up the clinic. But then a few months later, I have to move to Delhi after marriage. And after moving to Delhi, it was like kind of getting used to the place, culture, and there the language that is spoken was Hindi. So that is when like I was getting used to that. So then I thought maybe like I should gain some experience in a dental clinic before I would start on my own. So I joined a dental clinic there. So this clinic was inside a hospital setup. So I used to work with a senior dentist, and we used to have lot of patients, lots and lots. And as a fresher, like I was assigned most of the cleaning cases in the sense like we call them as scaling. So I'm sure most of you would have gone to the dentist for the cleaning reason. So I used to do that in the beginning. In the initial days, you can say like most of the cases are only cleaning cases. Like it used to be too hectic, and it's like 8 to 10 cases per day. And it was like for few months, it was like a kind of boring. And I was actually wondering like maybe I should also explore some other areas in dentistry rather cleaning. At that time, I was earning around 8,000 per month. And back home, my people used to tease me because at that point they used to tease me telling like our maid is earning more than you. So that's how the situation was then. So then we had to move to Chennai because my husband was posted here. So we all came to Chennai. So then I thought, okay, this is a good time. Now I can start the clinic. So, but the scenario was like when I started conversing with the shopkeepers, with the cab drivers and all, like even though I'm trying to talk to them in English or Hindi, it was not helping much because they used to reply in Tamil and some people used to totally ignore. And they used to reply, like they used to say like, ungalku Tamil terema, so something like that they used to say. And then I realized, okay, this is not a good idea to start a clinic. Probably I should pick up the language so that I can converse with my patient, understand the language, and also communicate the solution. So then I thought, okay, it's not going to help. Let me look for a job. So when I looked for a job, the week I gave the interview, so I was called immediately to join. So then I joined, and I joined a pharmaceutical company, basically a research unit in a quality domain where I have to collaborate with a lot of team members, and then I have to get the inputs from the SMEs, from the clinical, from the medical reviewer. So there is a lot of collaboration happening, and with the kind of collaboration and communication happening, like it was a very tight project that I used to get. It somewhere varies from around 2 weeks to 1 month. It comes with a very tight timeline, like very, very tight. So some days I had felt like, okay, 24 days in a 24 hours in a day is not enough. It would have been 48 hours. So it was that kind of work. And then I thought, okay, maybe I can do something. I was wondering, maybe I can do something to fix this so that all of us working on a common interest with a common understanding. So that is when I came across Toastmasters, and it really, really helped me. And I would love to express my gratitude to each and every member here. It has helped me in the professional front and in the personal aspect. And I would express my gratitude and thank you one and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful icebreaker speech delivered by Shashikala. One key takeaway she threw away is that when the collaboration effort is there, the miracles do happen. Miracles do happen. Wonderful. And moving on to the second speaker to the screen. He's already up to the screen. May I request the evaluator of the speech, Toastmaster Anindita, to let us know the project objectives.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So today Toastmaster Vidyadhar is attempting his level 2 project 2 speech. The purpose of his speech is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. It is also for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Vidyadhar.
Thank you, Anindita, for reading out the objectives. To talk about the second speaker, he is holding a Master of Technology in Industrial Engineering, aspiring to be a confident and impactful public speaker. On the theme, what he says is, the enthusiasm stands between a stagnant team and a successful team. And that he admires Swami Vivekananda for his enthusiastic leadership qualities. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome Toastmaster Vidyadhar to deliver their speech. And the speech title is Women of Our Life. Toastmaster Vidyadhar.
Vidyadhar, just check your audio once, Vidyadhar. There is an echo.
Okay, is my voice is clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear. No.
So there is no echo right now, right?
Okay.
It's fine, right? Okay, thank you. Toastmasters. When I searched in internet, what is effective communication? Internet said it is about conveying the right words to the right people at the right time, with the right pauses, with the right gestures, with the right eye contact, with the right body language, with the right zest, with the right emotions. Oh my God, how many rights in this communication? How do I get all these right? But one thing, friends, now I understand why zestful playboys and Romeos are great communicators. Because they use the right words to the right girls with the right amount of flirting at the right moment to rightly attract the girls. A very good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I dedicate this speech to all the Toastmasters like me who are not playboys and Romeos. The women of our life, that is our mother, sister, girlfriend and wife. They are the most wonderful creation ever made by God. Their mental ability and IQ is so high that if a person can convince and persuade a woman, we can call him as a great communicator. That's why Toastmasters has brilliantly developed this project. If we understand the objectives of this project and apply word by word in our life, then we can all convince a woman. No. What I meant was, we can all become great communicators. So, Toastmasters has identified different style of communication: analytic, supportive, intuitive, and directive. It also warns us that our primary communication style can be anything, but we should always mix and match, try different combinations based on what situation we are with a woman. If we remain idle and stick with only one communication style, for sure, our life is not going to be easy. So let's see how these styles are useful while we deal with our women. The first is direct style. Speakers of direct style talk more openly, confidently, and independently. But at times, this style becomes very dangerous. Once in my school days, my mother said, "Kanna, I'm not your mother." "Amma, am I adopted?" "No, Kanna, I'm not your mother. I'm your friend. You can talk everything openly to me, including your crushes." So, as a direct communicator, I directly told her, "Amma, I like a girl named Priya. I think she also likes me. I'm planning to propose to her, ma." To which she said, "With the 60% marks in Offaly, not only Priya, even a donkey will not accept your proposal." Toastmasters, after loads of advice and several rounds of beatings on that day, I not only forgot my Priya, but also my direct communication style. The second is supportive style, which calls for patience, cooperation, and active listening. But generally, men get this wrong because whenever there is a problem, in the name of supporting, men offer solutions. But that is the end result. That is not a woman need. Women cares about the means rather than ends. They care about how we undergo the process. They care about how we overcome the hurdles in the process. They care about the emotions and feelings involved in the process. So the best solution a man can offer in that situation is no solution. Because whenever a woman frustrates out, they're simply requesting us to lend our ears, not our mouth. So rather than saying something, if we men follow the supportive communication style and start active listening, then most of our women problem will become no problem. The third is analytical style, which demands us to be alert, precise, and logical. Just like our TT, the woman asks questions which keep us on our toes. The question will be like, honey, when was the last time you went to a rooftop restaurant? To which we'll be thinking, how many rooftop restaurants are there in Chennai? And how many we have went? Was it on first anniversary or second anniversary? Before analyzing all these aspects, your time will be up. We'll be saying, dear, I think it is 2 or 3 years ago. But the expected exact answer will be 2014, December 20, 9 p.m. for a dinner. So when we are expecting a sixer, we are already duck out. But if we apply the analytical style in this situation, we'll be saying, baby, forget about the last time. You look so beautiful today. Let's celebrate by going to a rooftop restaurant today. The Toastmasters. This analytical style will help us evade problems and brings easy solutions. Toastmasters, the women of our life are great communication coaches. They put us in difficult situation for us to practice different communication styles. If we succeed in all the situation, then not only in a personal life, even in our professional life, we become great communicators. But as men, we have a lot of complaints about women, that she always asks questions, she overreacts to situations, she makes unreasonable demands, and so on. But I deeply believe that we men deserve all the complaints and stereotypes which we have against a woman. Because for thousands of years, we men have subjugated and dominated women. We suppressed their voice when she wanted to communicate. That's why once they got their due share of freedom, the pain and anger which were suppressed for ages is getting communicated in this form. Also, irrespective of all the sufferings we caused them, they always show their unconditional love and care, for which there is no replacement. So my dear fellow Toastmasters, as direct communicators, let's talk honestly to our women. As analytical communicators, let's analyze their feeling while talking. As supportive communicators, let's respect, support, and listen to the woman of our life. Over to you, TM Wood.
Paul sir, you are on mute.
Yeah, once again, let me tell. That was the right speech, delivered at the right time, to the right type of audience, delivered by Toastmaster Vidyadhar on Women of Our Life. Let's give a round of applause for both the speakers who have delivered their zestful speeches. Okay, timer. Both the speakers are qualified for voting. Of course, although the voting will be done at a later part online, but I'm just checking.
Yeah, everyone's correct.
Both are okay.
Yeah.
Both are wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, friends. It is said that nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm. Nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm. It was said by Ralph Emerson and shared today by Paul Bhaskaran. Next comes the much awaited session, which is table topics. Please join me welcoming someone who is a charter member of Wordsmith and the first Toastmaster of District 120. He deserves applause before he takes up the role. Thank you. On the theme, what he says is, whenever he listens to the song he likes, he does humming enthusiastically. An enthusiastic leader he admires is Dr. Abdul Kalam. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcoming the table topic master for today, our district parliamentarian, DTM Abraham Zakaria.
Thank you. SPB of Wordsmith Toastmasters. Am I audible? The usual question I must ask you.
Yes.
Perfectly audible.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
1/3 table topic, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now it is 2/3, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you. Okay, friends. Table topic is a most successful session of Toastmasters meeting. It is a most useful session also. This is a one session, all of us think on feet. Of course, now we are very happy that we can sit and think. Table topic is also known as impromptu session or extempo or unrehearsed speeches. For the information of guests, table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. You got to speak for minimum 1 minute and maximum 2 minutes. Of course, you are given 30 seconds grace time also. At the 1 minute, you will be shown a green signal, and 1.5 minutes amber, and 2 minutes red. And I'll call out, I'll show you the topic, I'll read out the topic, and I'll also show you the topic. And please note down the topic and the speaker. So end of the day, you have to give your voting. That because the number will be longer, more than in tabletop. In prepared speech, we have only 2 speakers. Here we have going to have nearly 10 speakers. Right? Shall I move on to the topic and the first speaker? Yes. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
hello,
sir.
TMOD,
Yes.
please. TMOD, your present. Somebody has to keep it unmute so that.
The host has muted me.
Can you see what I'm written in here? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Yeah, 1/3.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is 3.
Yeah. Next is table topic. I've written. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first topic is this. The theme of the day is the topic.
Wow.
Okay. Now I request Toastmaster Sujata to speak on this topic. Toastmaster Sujata, enthusiasm is contagious.
Thank you, table topic master. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Enthusiasm is contagious. Is it only enthusiasm? Or what could be the cause of enthusiasm? Is it not happiness that causes enthusiasm? I feel that happiness is the most important thing which creates the enthusiasm. And contagious, let me look at the second part of the phrase. When I say contagious, it spreads. People who see you, people who interact with you, take that positivity from you and move ahead with that kind of happiness or that kind of enthusiasm. So, how this can be ensured? Your happiness is something I feel is a state of mind rather than talking about, somebody else is a cause for creating happiness or sorrowness within you. So when I say happiness is a state of mind, how do you get that state of mind? Not by looking at the past or worrying about the past, not by worrying about the future, but live the moment that you are in. So that's something which is going to create a great happiness within you because you are living the moment, you are enjoying the moment, you are enjoying the interactions, you are enjoying every bit of your experience in life. That going to give you happiness, and that happiness is something which is going to give you an enthusiasm. I have seen people in office, especially the seniors, when they walk in, they carry that pride with them, and then when they walk into their cabin or when they walk along the corridor, I've seen them not even saying a good morning or having a pleasant face. With a stern face, they walk and get into their cabin. Are they the people really? Uh, are they the people who are really spreading that happiness or enthusiasm to people? Definitely not. What is going to cause them, a smile or a good morning to their fellow people, right? And on the other hand, I have also seen people, I have worked with people who come and ask, why are you feeling sad today? You're not looking all right. You're not as enthusiastic as you were yesterday. What happened to you? So there are two different people, right? And always we need to be associated with people who are spreading that happiness and enthusiasm to people. So I don't know whether the time is up. Let me end my speech here. I couldn't see the card. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sujala. It was an enthusiastic speech, I must say. Friends, the next topic is I think there is a spelling mistake. I'll change this topic, the next topic. The next topic is to err is human, for forgive is not a company policy. To err is human, to forgive is not a company policy. So Toastmaster Manoj Dubai. Manoj, you are somewhere there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
You got the topic?
Yes.
Error is human, to forgive is not a company policy. Toastmaster Manoj Dubai. Over to you.
Everybody makes mistake. And this is the true nature of human being. When you do a mistake, you are learning something. But while doing mistake, after doing mistake, if you accept your mistake and try to change it and do not repeat your mistake, that brings to you as next level. But if somebody does mistake to you, if you're hurt by somebody mistake, so the true nature, you should forgive them. But forgiving is not a company policy. It is not mandatory that you should forgive him or her. But if you forgive, you give chance to flourish. You give chance to. Abraham sir, you have given me a very difficult topic. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, continue. Please continue. Please continue.
Have I understood the topic clearly?
Yes.
So everything depends upon you, whether you forgive or not. It is your choice. Nobody is mandating or nobody is putting force on you that you should forgive. But if you forgive, you give chance of flourishness, a chance of prosperity to yourself, calmness to yourself. And if you are not forgiving, you are accumulating the hurts, accumulating the guilt, you are accumulating all the negativity in yourself. So better you should forgive. Thank you.
Thank you. Dubai, you have done a wonderful topic. It was a confusing one, but you handled it very well. Thank you so much. We move on to the next topic.
Before that, there is a message for TT Master.
Yeah.
It says, if DTM Zach can stop sharing the screen after presenting the topic immediately, then the timer records will be visible for the speakers.
Oh, thank you.
Kindly make it.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Yeah, please go ahead.
Next topic. Road to success is always under construction. Road to success is always under construction. Toastmaster Arumugam Narayana Swami. Road to success is always under construction. Toastmaster Arumugam Narayana Swami. Arumugam, you are there? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. for your good topic. Road to success always under construction. Yes, I agree for this topic. Anything in the success for any human being, any success will not happen immediately. We have to put a basement first, and first floor, second floor, even a LIC building, or we may be a high storage building also. It is required for complete basement, strong basement only the building will scale up for up to 20 floors or 15 floors. That is the way the human life also. The success will not happen immediately. We need to prepare. We need to, we have to put our complete effort. That is for road. That road will be, it will take time to reach the reach of success. That is a life lesson. If it's a ECG, if it's an electrocardiogram, if it's a straight line.
Yes.
The same ECG, if it's ups and down, that means the person is alive. That is called for year road to success. The success, nothing will happen immediately. That definitely success will come. That is called the road. Over to TT Master.
Thank you, our Toastmaster Armugam, for the wonderful speech. Okay, now I have an issue with showing it, because in case I show, you'll see all my topics. So I'll read out the topics now. Now, next topic is for Toastmaster Jyoti Thomas. Next topic is for Jyoti Thomas. Guest Jyoti Thomas. Jyoti,
I seem to be the lucky draw. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, the topic is where there is a will, I want to be in it.
Just give me a minute. I think my video is hanging. Just a second.
You just listen to it. You don't have to see the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Where there's a will, I want to be in it. Where there's a will, I want to be in it. Guess Jyoti Thomas.
Fellow Toastmasters, guests, friends, a very warm good evening. Where there's a will, usually there's a way. And now my wonderful table topic master has given me something as I will want to be there. I can take will in two ways. The will to make things better, or to check out who has willed what for whom. The two wills. Honestly, when you think of the very word will, it very clearly states the importance of doing something. I'm taking it as a life lesson. I will be consistent. I will be there. It shows very clearly that we are somebody who is accommodating, who's always there to support people. So in my way, where there's a will, I will be there. I consider myself as to be somebody who can motivate. So where there's a will for somebody to speak, I will be there to take them right through. The second will is a will that somebody leaves behind before or after they pass. When the will is being read out, I will be there if it is appropriate, because I think I will be one person who will stand up to being righteous when it comes to be it friend or foe, though those whom I don't have. Simple. Is it only the will? I feel honored that I have this opportunity to talk to you about the will, the thought, the process, and the goodness that goes with it. Wherever there is a will, I will be there with value and complete moral ethics. With that, I close my speech. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. I will now be seated.
Thank you. You will. You will be in my will.
I'm going to remember that.
Okay, friends. Thank you. The next topic is fine is a punishment. Fine is a tax for doing fine. Fine is a tax for doing fine. Toastmaster Shruti, former president of Wordsmith Toastmasters, Toastmaster Sudhi. Are you here? Sudhi?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it audible?
Yeah, audible. Your topic is fine is a tax for doing fine. Fine is a tax for doing fine.
Hi, everyone. A very good evening. And it is really wonderful to be back after a long time. And I'm really doing fine. But after listening to this table topic, which pretty much seems to be a tongue twister, I'm still not able to get the meaning of it. But to recollect the topic again, fine is... Oh, can you repeat the topic again?
Tax.
Sorry, sir?
Fine is a tax.
Okay, fine. To be fine is a tax. So, well, it is not very common that everybody is fine all the time. Indeed, if that is the case, then probably they are not into something that they really want, or they're not going behind something they really want. So they are still inside their comfort zone, being all happy and comfortable as much as possible. But once you're fine, it is to be taxed is something that is not okay. Fine is okay. The green light is up, and yeah, thank you to the table topic master. This was a really difficult topic.
Okay.
Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next topic, I'll read it out once first. If I agree with you, both of us would be wrong. This topic is for guest Akila Rajendran. Guest Akila Rajendran, you're there, ma'am?
Hello, Mr. Zach. I'm there.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you please repeat?
Oh yeah, I'll repeat it twice. If I agree with you,
okay,
both of us would be wrong. If I agree with you, both of us would be wrong. Guest Agila Rajendra.
Well, that was a very zestful topic. Given that we are all in this pandemic scene, if I agree with you, both of us would be wrong. I think that is what is going on today, because if we agree with Corona, I think both of us would be wrong. And both the disease and the world would not be in a position that either of us want to be in. So I think it was very, very adept to have this. And moreover, we do not get to agree with everybody. We do not get to agree with everybody in every scenario. So because it is very seldom that like-minded people do agree on the same topic. As the saying goes, like poles repel. So if you want to have growth, or if you need to have enhancement and enrichment of knowledge, I firmly believe that there should be positive criticism, and also there should be two distinct views and two distinct versions. Just like how every coin has got two sides, and like how a day has got both day and night, there needs to be two sides to a coin. So going by that, I'm glad that I got to speak on this topic, on the current scenario and on the scene. And it was a very zestful thought of the TTTM Zach today to have this done. And I'm happy to have been speaking on that topic. And a very good thanks to all my friends for having me over. Thank you.
Thank you, lawyer. You have argued a case very well. I must put it that way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zach.
Okay, thank you. And the next speaker is going to be our general evaluator, Mr. Victor. Victor, you're there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm always here.
Yeah. I've taken special permission from the TMOD to ask him for a topic. Okay, your topic is life is unsure. Eat your dessert first. Life is unsure. Eat your dessert first. Toastmaster Victor.
Life is like opening a new book. I can still remember the first smell of the first book I read. The Little Prince. The Little Prince is a book that opens not only our mind, that not opens only our ears. The Little Prince is an open book that opens precisely our soul. Life is challenging. Life is difficult. Life sometimes wants to punch you down. But then you gather all your strengths back and you say something like, yeah, come on, punch me harder. Life sometimes like this. Life sometimes like this. Life sometimes like this. Fellow Toastmasters, no matter how life tries to punch you down, you all have all the strengths to always gather all that strength and go up every time you did it. I once read that book, which is The Little Prince from Saint-Exupéry, a French author, and I find it mesmerizing because right now we live in different worlds. We live in a world of confusion. We live in a world of love. But above all, we want to live in a world where all that enthusiasm that we are sharing right now in this meeting must be spread all around the world. Enthusiasm and life must be two elements that will be always together. Because no matter what's going right now in your life, and if your life tries to punch you down, remember to say to the life, I have all my strengths here, and here I am, standing with all my thoughts and my beliefs, because no matter how many times life tries to punch you down, you're always having a good time. Live it with enthusiasm. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. You well explained the intricacies of life. Okay, the next topic is for Sergeant at Arms, Anisuya. You're there? I could see you somewhere. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, yeah. Okay, usually role players won't get it because I know every time they will be missing it forever. So I thought I'll ask her. The topic is war does not determine who is right, but only who is left. War does not determine who is right, but only who is left. Toastmaster Anasuya.
Sir, war, W-A-R, war does not determine who's right, who's left.
But no,
the topic is right, sir?
who is right, but only who is left.
Okay. Okay. A very good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Let's talk about, I don't want to discuss about the war waging against each countries. Let's talk about the war which I waged in my house. My uncle, who's a doctor, we were having a very serious conversation. I was discussing about some action which a government or a party had taken, and he was arguing against us. As a doctor, he was talking about his field. He was talking, I'm not exactly going to discuss the what we spoke because we're not supposed to discuss on politics here in Toastmasters, but I'll just say the scenario. So I was having a very hard discussion with him. And we were almost, I was like, doctor, you do not live in this country. You are an NRA. You can just stay away. Just come to India for 1 month. And you can talk about politics all the time. That's what you do. But we live here. We know what is the scenario. So we were having a heated discussion. And finally, after the argument, like, we were not willing to leave the discussion. We were going on and on and on. Like, everyone in the house, there were relatives all in the house, and everyone came and sat around us. And they were watching like a movie was going on. Literally, the conversation turned into a war. This normal conversation turned into a heated argument. And that time, I realized at home, we are not supposed to discuss politics. Or if we discuss politics, it will turn into a war. So that day, one of us, I went overboard and I tried to prove my point, but literally I felt bad. I think it is better to lose in an argument such arguments than winning it. That was a war in my home which I faced. Thank you, Tabletop Master, for the topic.
Thank you. You could give a new perspective to the topic. Okay, next is going to be the last topic. So whoever wants to speech, please raise your hand, or you can tell me. Hello. You can raise your hand.
Hello, sir.
Nikhil. Nikhil, I have got Nikhil.
Yeah.
Okay. Nikhil, your topic is trouble being punctual is that no one is there to appreciate.
Okay.
Trouble with being punctual is that no one is there to appreciate. Toastmaster Nikhil.
Very good evening, Toastmasters, and especially good evening to the table topic master. More than being a TTM, he is proving that he's also a DTM by giving such topics. And I exactly remember that day when I was appointed or elected as the Sergeant at Arms, and I was all motivated that you should be punctual to Toastmasters, you should be on time, you should be 4 o'clock. Everything is about to start only when you are there in the meeting hall. So with that motive, I came all the way to in the next meeting. I came at 3:45 and I was all surprised. I was wearing the formal dress and I was fully prepared for the introduction speech, and I came there, but the hall was entirely empty with the sweeper being there telling, "What, Thambi, you've come so early. The AC is not even on. The chairs are not even put." Okay, maybe people ask the Sergeant at Arms to come on time only to do the works, putting up the chairs and turning on the AC. So at times, being punctual won't give you the enough recognition or the appreciation. But being punctual makes you feel that you have been punctual and you have done your role. People always judge you on whatever things you do, but there's something called heart and there's something called that inner your inner voice that tells you. So on being punctual, maybe nobody appreciates you, but you can always give a pat on your chest or your shoulder saying that you have been punctual on time. So being on time and being on punctual is a very good quality, and I ask everybody to do that. So being punctual on this, I'm going to end this topic right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. You did it very well. So, friends, it was a very sensible session. I had a technical issue because my topics were inside my laptop. So I have whatever I scribbled only, it was there. That's why it got confused. Sorry for that. Anyway, it was very wonderful, and all the speakers made the session contagious with their speeches. And thank God no one asked me to give a speech on difficult or simple topic, whatever it is. Now I hand over the screen back to SBB of Wordsmith Toastmasters, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskar.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful session conducted by DTM Abraham Zakaria. The topics, not only the topics were mesmerizing, but also the speeches were mesmerizing. Let's applaud for them, for the speakers and the TT Master. And before I move on to the next segment, the timer, all the speakers are qualified for voting. Just say, can I request the timer?
Yes, only one Toastmaster Sujata is crashed the time 2.43. Balance, everyone is.
All right, so that will be taken note of. Thank you, timer, for your report. And say, ladies and gentlemen, enthusiasm and success go hand in hand. Enthusiasm and success go hand in hand. One very good motivational speaker, highly paid motivational speaker, what he says is enthusiasm comes first, success comes later. All right, my dear friends, and Mother Teresa once said, if you are judging people, you will not find time to love them. If you are judging people, you will not find time to love them. That is why we have the evaluation segment. We are not judging, we evaluate for betterment of ourselves and betterment of the receivers. So in order to carry out the general evaluation session, please let us welcome Toastmaster Victor Mendoza. Victor Mendoza, the screen is yours.
Sure, here I am. Thank you, Toastmaster Paul. I'm overjoyed to be here because you are making my morning a wonderful morning. I'm going to enjoy my Saturday because I'm still enjoying this first part of my day, which is still the Saturday. And I am very happy to introduce you, the evaluators of tonight. So they are amazing Toastmasters who will provide a fantastic feedback to our speakers. Each of them will have a time from 2 to 3 minutes to give their thoughts about the speeches of the prepared speakers. So from 2 to 3 minutes, welcome the first evaluator for Toastmaster Shashi, Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator Toastmaster Victor, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and to my speaker in particular, Toastmaster Shashikala. Before I give the evaluation report, just want to confirm that I'm audible. Couple of thumbs up, please. Thank you. Thank you. I know Toastmaster Shashikala as a member for whom enthusiasm in Toastmasters is getting contagious every meeting. She's soft-spoken, energetic, active Toastmaster. According to me, this is what I know about Toastmaster Shashikala. And through this speech, I wanted to discover more about Toastmaster Shashikala. Some of the good aspects in which I observed in Toastmaster Shashikala's speech today was she opened with a question which showed the amount of confidence she possessed with the presentation that she had in hand. She paused for some time to get to have the feedback, the response from the audience for the question that she had thrown at the beginning of the speech. She spoke about her family of 5, and then she took us to, she gave a description about how our village was. And I, as an evaluator, was just from the speech of us, I was thinking about how it could be, how our village was. So the description that she had given was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I just had a couple of points of recommendation which I'll come back later. She briefly touched upon her educational qualification. She finally landed up on factor that had driven her to Toastmasters Club, and that was mainly because of the stress that she had in her workplace. On the whole, the speech was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but every speech will be good if there is some scope for improvement. And Toastmaster Shashikala, this being an icebreaker speech, I felt that you had a couple of repetition in the beginning which you could have avoided. I had expected to hear from you because this is an icebreaker and the only speech in Toastmasters journey where you get to introduce yourself to the audience. This gives you a lot of opportunity to touch upon areas like what is your hobby, what is your passion, what are the achievements that you have had in life, be it academic, be it your personal life, or be it your profession, your ambitions and goals going forward, be it in Toastmasters or in your personal life. These are the areas which I would wanted to know more about, because these things could have helped me as a member and as an evaluator to discover who is Toastmaster Shashikala. And I felt you had missed out on these areas. Probably you can take a note of these areas so that you will get one more opportunity in part 2 in pathways wherein you can present these points. With this feedback from my side, I wish you all the very best, and I hand over the proceeding back to the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Now, thanks to you, your point of view will be very valuable to our new member. So I love the way you detail your evaluation and you speak in first person. That's important because you are only sharing the point of view from yourself. Now for our second individual evaluator, let's welcome Anindita. Anindita, who will evaluate the prepared speech of Vidyadhar. Go ahead, Anindita.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Victor Mendoza. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Vidyadhar gave an awesome speech about the women in everyone's life. Toastmaster Vidyadhar, I absolutely loved the way you started the speech. That made the audience engage themselves in the speech. In an online platform, it is quite difficult to bring in the right emotions and gestures and to bring in the right vocal variety and to give that expression, and which you brought in quite effectively. Kudos to that. Toastmaster Vidyadhar, I really love your sense of humor. I'm sure that most of us in this meeting could relate to the incident where your mother told you that she's your friend, and then when you in turn shared your secrets with her, and then you deserve a scolding. I could definitely relate to that because I've been in the same situation. I really love the way you explain all the three communication styles: direct style, supportive style, and analytical style, using relatable experiences that happen in everyone's life from childhood. I love the way you really paced your speech and the way you structured it too. It was neither too fast or not too slow. The one thing I really loved in your speech was your conclusion. Your conclusion was extremely powerful and made all the women present in this meeting beam with pride. Am I right, women in the meeting? Toastmaster Vidyadhar, your speech was excellent. But I have only one recommendation. You shared your experiences with different women in your life, and yes, they all relate to. You have given a few more examples and scenarios where these communication styles will help extensively in other places. Overall, it was a fabulous speech with a powerful beginning and a conclusion, sprinkled with humor and relatable stories. It was a pleasure to evaluate your speech and looking forward listening to your future speeches. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Anindita. Thanks for providing your feedback and above all to focus on the speaker's objectives. Congratulations. Now let's welcome to our tag team. So if our timer has any special report about it, please go ahead, timer.
Yes, General Evaluator, everyone done very well, and only TT first speaker Tosma Sujata only crossed the time, and everyone is exact time only.
Okay, thanks a lot for your valuable help. Now let's listen to the counter report. Counter report, the screen is yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Before I start, I'm just gonna let you guys know that this is my first time, so I'm gonna make some mistakes. So if I do, please point it out to me. I'm just gonna share my screen now. I hope you all can see this. Can you all see this?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now we can see.
Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yes? Okay.
Visible.
So let's start with the Sergeant at Arms, who is TM Anusha, has made only one repetition, and the presiding officer, TM Arun, has made one non-lexical filler and two lexical fillers, along with one unintentional pause and 3 repetitions. Moving on to the secretarial report by TM Arvind Annamalai, he made one unintentional pause and 1 repetition. The TMOD, Mr. TM Paul Bhaskaran, made only 2 repetitions. Speaker, moving on to the prepared speeches, Speaker 1, TM Shashikala, has made 8 non-lexical fillers and 2 lexical fillers. She has also made 1 unintentional pause and 2 repetitions. Moving on to the second speaker today, TM Vidyadhar, he made 2 unintentional pauses. Moving on to the table topic speakers today, starting with the table topic master, DTM Abraham Zachariah sir, made only 1 repetition. TT speaker 1, TM Sujata, made 1 non-lexical filler and 1 unintentional pause. TT speaker 2, TM Manoj Dubey, made 1 non-lexical filler and two unintentional pauses and one repetition. TD speaker 3, TM Armugam. TM Armugam made one non-lexical filler. Made one non-lexical filler and two repetitions. Moving on to TD speaker 4, guest Jyoti Thomas. She made no mistakes today, so special accommodation to that. TD speaker 5, TM Shruti, made one unintentional pause and one repetition. TD speaker 5, guest Akhila Rajendran, made 4 non-lexical fillers and one unintentional pause. Speaker 6, TM Mendoza, who was also our general evaluator for the evening, made no errors as well, so special accommodation to that. TD speaker 7, TM Anusha, made 3 non-lexical fillers, 2 lexical fillers, 2 unintentional pauses, and 1 repetition. So 8, our last TD speaker for the evening, Nikhil, made 2 non-lexical fillers, 1 unintentional pause, and 1 repetition. Moving on to the third segment with he made only 1 unintentional pause. The first evaluator, Karthikeyan, made only 1 unintentional pause. And the second evaluator, TM Anindita, made only 1 repetition.
Wow, thank you very much. There are no mistakes at all. We are here to learn. Everyone is here to learn. Thank you, my dear accountant, Samyukhtha. And finally, but not least, let's listen to our grammarian report. The mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you, General Evaluator Victor. Let me share my screen for the grammarian report. So as you see in the screen, the word of the day, the enthusiasm is contagious. It was used by 6 speakers, and then the theme. The theme of the day, enthusiasm is contagious, was used by 6 speakers, and the theme of the word of the day, zest, was used by 10 speakers. It was a good. And about the good usage, we had a lot of good usage today. Jaunt, impactful, up and high, collaboration, persuade, convince, frustrate, precise, aspects, evade, stereotype, and this is a good usage in women or great communication coaches. I love this. And then pride, stern, motivate, righteous, more ethics, adapt, seldom, mesmerizing, core, fabulous, fantastic, passion, discover, paste, deem. And then in the not so good usages, I had a few notifications here. We have to move. This happened years back, so we can use like we had to move. And about the pronunciation, the language, you can use it as language. And abbreviations, instead of using abbreviations, we can elaborate something like this, like for example, SME, subject matter expert. And this is again a good usage, like poles repel. So that's all from me, and we had a good zestful meeting today. So over to General Evaluator.
Thanks to you. Awesome, fabulous, mesmerizing feedback on grammar. So now it's my turn to deliver my thoughts, and I must confess you something. I truly miss face-to-face meetings because it's the way we listen better to speakers and the way we can connect better. But even with the Zoom meetings, I must tell you that this evening in particular, I enjoyed this meeting because I felt like I was in a face-to-face meeting. So congratulations. I could imagine how you delivered the reports on the screen. It came to my mind how to smell the paper in the face-to-face meetings. I enjoy the enthusiasm you projected. So just give a round of applause to you, Chennai Wordsmiths Club. You're amazing. You're amazing because you have great speakers, great evaluators, and for example, I could hear that Toastmaster Abraham is a founder member. Few clubs that last or were chartered many years ago have a few opportunities to have founder members here, so it's awesome. So I'm going to deliver my quick thoughts about this meeting. Anusha, when you opened the meeting at as Sergeant at Arms, you were energetic. And what I like about you is that you smile. And when you smile, it's like giving a warmth welcome to everyone. Congratulations on that. I love the way the club uses the code of conduct. I love it. My only piece of advice to Anusha is that you can use pauses to add more impact to your message, because as you speak so fast because you are very excited about, then if you speak so fast, sometimes it's hard to get along the message or to absorb that kind of emotion. So that's my only piece of advice. Arun, I'm surprised about you, man. You prepare your slide, you made a research topic on the pandemic and all that kind of appreciations in the past, so that was amazing. I love the way you said unmute everybody and share your thoughts about this. It engaged to me to be more there in the club. My only piece of advice is that you can start your message with a quote or a challenging question. So instead of only saying good evening, Toastmasters, so it can create more impact to your speech. Again, you are amazing. Toastmaster Maithun, your structure a very detailed minute. My only advice is that you can practice the minute before saying to the club, so it feels more that you are talking smoothly and briefly about the thoughts on the minute. Paul, as Toastmaster of the meeting, congratulations. Congratulations. I love the way you handled this. You projected enthusiasm, you practice, you deliver a lot of quotes from famous speakers and leaders. Wow, that's amazing. I learned a lot this evening. My only advice is that when you introduce the speakers, you can do it the way we do at the international contest. For example, name of the speaker, title, name of the speaker. For example, Paul Baskarian, life is wonderful, Paul Baskarian. Reflect that enthusiasm too with the speakers. On the other hand, the agenda was detailed, the VP Education worked along with you. I love the way you handled this meeting. It was awesome. And for the table topic speakers, Toastmaster Abraham, I love how you explain the Toastmaster rules. And then there was a little problem with sharing the screens, but then it was fixed during the table topics meeting. So it's cool, or it's great that you share the screen and then you stop sharing it so we can see the speaker and the speaker has a chance to see the timer. Another advice that you can say the topic twice and perhaps to speak a little bit loud and slower so people had the chance to understand the question. It happened to me also. I tend to speak faster and sometimes people don't understand me. Hope it didn't happen today. On the other way, I love the questions. They were thought-provoking. You made the speakers to feel comfortable with the topic. So congratulations. I learned a lot today from you, my dear Toastmaster Abraham. awesome job as table topics master. Congratulations. For the table topics speaker, I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name. I'm learning all about this. Suyara, you use a general to particular outline. So I love the way you were saying your thoughts. My recommendation, use pauses. Manoy Duvet, I love the way you were looking to the camera. Your body language looked natural when you were sit. My advice is that don't start immediately. You can think for 2 to 3 seconds what you are going to talk about. Saruti, I love that you have always eye contact to the camera in your table topic speech. And my recommendation is, you didn't understand the question, just use a keyword, one word that you listen to that question, and then speak. There's no need to say, oh, it was hard, it was a challenge. You're amazing. I saw in action when you were club president, so just use a keyword. Anusha, you use a storytelling outline. I love the way how you develop this table topics. Again, use pause. Let people absorb that emotion that you are delivering in your speech. And Nikhil, you use a storytelling outline too. And sometimes you use your hands a lot like this. So try to take a deep breath and place your hands there next to your legs and then start talking. Use your hands only to emphasize the main point. To our guest, I love the way you deliver your speeches. Hope you join this amazing club, because this is a world-class club and you'll learn a lot. You'll apply all this technique in your everyday life, just the way I'm doing now. My thoughts on my tag team, they are amazing. They are fabulous, they're detailed. I love the way how they share the screen, the reports, the accounted. My only recommendation is that participate the more you can as evaluators and as speakers. My general thoughts on this meeting, that I think this is a guideline from Toastmasters, that we must try to keep our cameras on. For example, in my club, 100% of the members keep them on because you are there. It's like living the moment. So if you turn your camera off, it's like, where are you? Why we cannot see you? It's been difficult to go from face-to-face meetings to online meeting, and sometimes it's difficult to connect with the people. So when you turn on your cameras, it's amazing. We can see you. I noticed that 60% of the time cameras were on, so encourage them. So the goal is that the club has their cameras on until we reach 100%. That will be amazing. Because when we see to each other, when we see the clapping, it's amazing, it's contagious. So it's my only recommendation to you, my friends. And those are my last thoughts. Yeah, I enjoyed the meeting. Just a little tip. Sometimes there's background noises from the environment. Perhaps, I don't know, is there a host who can unmute this? Speakers that suddenly, or guests that suddenly the mic gets on. So that's my only point of view. I'm very happy. I'm very thankful. I learned a lot, and keep doing. You're an amazing club. You're a world-class club, as I told you. And remember that the more you practice, the more better you'll be. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Paul.
Sir, unmute yourself.
In Mexican language, how will I say thank him? How will I thank him? Muchas gracias, Toastmaster Victor Mendoza. Let's applaud. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, we Wordsmith are truly honored by your presence, by your contribution and your advice. We will take note of it. Timer, both the evaluators are qualified for voting. Can you please tell me? Is the timer
Yes, sir.
available?
Qualified, sir. Everyone.
Both are qualified. Wonderful. All right. Before I hand this over to our president, let me conclude by saying enthusiasm inspires confidence, raises morale, builds loyalty, and it is priceless. Enthusiasm is a habit that one can acquire and practice. A renowned motivational speaker said, enthusiasm and desire, that is what the change. It changes mediocrity to excellence. So why not we acquire that skill and spread it? Because enthusiasm is contagious. Thank you very much, and over to the president.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran. So it was a great evening. I believe everybody enjoyed the meeting overall. Now coming on to the next segment, I just have one quick update that I have to give, which is we launched our website. It's been a long pending one. We wanted to really come up with one website. This has been, as Victor says, it's a world-class Toastmaster club, and we just wanted to ensure that we have a website as well that members can take it forward. So I'm just going to give you a small demo that what are the things that's available in this website and what are the things that you can probably take advantage of. So coming on to the front page, home page, you will see the beautiful photos that we have taken in the past where we were able to meet in person, and you see the mission of the club. So this is something that we have not really spoken about during the meetings, but it is always important to understand what is the mission of the club and what is the importance of knowing the mission of the club, also the mission of Toastmasters International. So you get all these information here. Probably we would have one business meeting where we understand each of these segments, what we discussed here in the web page. And this is one important thing. So as soon as a new member comes in the club, a Toastmasters promise is something that we should really be understanding, and we should promise it, and we should be strict and religiously following this, to attend the club regularly, to prepare all my speeches, and to prepare and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluation. So Toastmasters is all about positivity and encouraging members. So this Toastmasters promise is something that gives you a clear indicative measures on how you can be a positive person and how you can be a positive leader. And we have some reasons why you need to join Toastmasters. For the guests, you can just go through this, why you have to join Toastmasters Club and why Chennai Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club in particular. And we have our founder's address here. So he has spoken about his experience, and he has said why he loves Toastmasters. And you see plenty of options here, like find your voice, transform yourself. So there are plenty of resources available as well in this homepage. And you get to see the meeting information where you have the schedule of the information, and you know the person whom you should be contacting. And this is the map that we initially put for our physical meeting, but now it doesn't exist. We should definitely be putting a Zoom link over here. And for the guests, if you want to contact, please type in your information here so that your contact is not lost, and we have it stored here, and we contact you every meeting with the agenda and with the flyers that we have. And we have club calendars, which displays the events that's going to happen. Say, for example, a contest is coming and things like that. So that's another thing that's going to be populated as well. You have plenty of free resources from Toastmasters International. You can get all this information from the toastmasters.org. So that's a link to that as well. And we have, these are pages that we created. Basically, a typical club meeting for a new member coming in, it would be like a person who is sailing in middle of the sea without any compass. So he would be left with nothing, but he would be thinking, what's happening with this club, and like who are these people and what are they doing? So for that, we wanted to have a page where we explain what are the three segments of the Toastmasters Club meeting and the roles that they play. And there is an example video, like this is a Toastmaster meeting that we did, and this video will give you a very elaborated view of what is happening in a Toastmasters meeting. And you have everybody talks about this pathways. Pathways is the curriculum that we have to use to enhance our educational qualification as far as Toastmasters is concerned. So how do you start pathways? What are the things that you have to know? All these are very, very carefully taken and like populated here. So these informations, these self videos would definitely be of great help for you. And also there is a link here, which is very useful link. Clicking on here, it will take you to another website which is also in progress. This has like documents of choosing a path, pathway spreadsheet, pathways catalog. So many people come and ask me, why should I choose one path over the other? So you have answers for all. Each of the profession needs different expertise. So the pathways is categorized to understand and like to make sure that each of the member, maybe they could be an advocate, they could be an engineering professional, they could be a program manager. They take everything into a consideration, and they have prepared these 11 things. So you going through all these resources will help you identify what resource is the one that is going to help you. So that's basically about the pathways. And coming back, you can join as member as well. So you can log in as member, and with login as a member, you can see the agendas. So you don't really have to wait for Toastmaster Abhishek or VP Education to fill an agenda. So there is a very good effort that has been put in this Toast host website. You can go here and you can sign up here. If you are a member and you have a login permission, you can say that I will be the Toastmaster of the day for the next meeting. So you can just go click here. It would say that Arun is assigned. And if you are a speaker, there is plenty of beautiful features that is available. So if I go and select speaker 3 for this particular meeting, it will ask me which project that I want to choose. So I can go here, choose the project that I'm going to deliver, say know your sense of humor is the speech that I want to give. I have the project description here, which I can easily take out, or I can take the evaluation form and then send it to the evaluator, or even the evaluator can directly pick in from the website this evaluation form. So there is no lot of confusions from whether did I send it to the evaluator, did the evaluator got it or not. All these can be automated here when we follow this particular process. You just give your speech details, and also there is a possibility that you can give your introduction for the Toastmaster of the day. This saves a lot of time, and this also gives you a one place where you can go take all the information from, and then like it would be a very, very easy task for the VP Education to accumulate all the information, and then he can quickly do a send email option. So you can see, send this to all club members. Agenda is ready, and you can just send it through email. It's as simple as that. So I believe all the members would be very supportive and very cooperative in this particular aspect. So going forward, VP Education, Abhishek will get in touch with you to get everybody on board with respect to this and sign in to the Toastmasters login, and we can follow it so that it would be very, very easy for each of us. And you have various options, like you can go do a quick role sign up as well. So if you want to say that I'm going to be attending this, I can just click here and I say like next meeting I would be a grammarian, and it just takes that and take a role, then it's getting logged. So it would be pretty simple. It just takes 2 seconds for you to do that. So that's pretty much about the site. It's very intuitive and it's very self-explanatory. Definitely, if you have questions, we XCOM members are really happy to help you out in this particular website training. Now coming back. Yeah. Can I have some guest feedback? Do we have guest Akila still with us?
Yes. Hi, Arun.
Yes, Akila.
As always, Toastmasters has always interested me. And in this pandemic situation where everyone is just frustrated and stuck at home, I can feel that the enthusiasm is actually very contagious, and everyone was looking forward to a very zestful evening. So I think seeing a lot of faces other than the immediate family has given everyone an opportunity to open up. So it was very nice, nicely organized. And like Mr. Victor had said, it was nice to have most of them have the video on throughout. So it actually made a lot of difference seeing faces than just looking at a blank screen. And as always, the session was very informative and very diversified, which is what is required to enrich ourselves at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akira. Can we hear it from Jyoti Thomas? Yes, Jyoti Thomas.
Okay. I felt the flow was extremely good. It was very zestful, kept everybody enthusiastic. And what I enjoyed was also the feedback that was given by Victor. And the table topics, I know Zach is a master of humor. He came up with some awesome stuff. So I think that was very nice. And for Mr. SPB Toastmaster Paul, very nicely connected, and when he tried to even ask you all to do it, Arun, I can see like every time the effort that you put. Like I was just looking at the first presentation, it was amazing to see that so much of effort in keeping everybody up and about, learning through. So that was something I really enjoyed. I think it's really going up the scale. I'm happy being here.
Thank you so much.
I'll be up next week.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I just have one small quiz now. So we have been trying to understand each other, increase our context, increase our network. So I'm going to give you one clue here. Like, this is one of our own member, Wordsmiths. She's very passionate about being Indian. She contributed to Indian history, epigraphist. She's one who renders a number of inscriptions. She has done it in the college days. She likes sociology. Sociology is one of her favorite subjects. And she also says that if there is a tool that can bring her back to the older times, she would go back to the Raja times and want to be one of the administrators during that particular age. And she's a senior leader in a private bank. Can you all guess who this person is? Can you please unmute?
Sujata.
Yes, Toastmaster Sujata.
That is Sujata from Citibank.
Yes. Can we all have one applause for Toastmaster Sujata?
She's not visible on the screen.
Maybe she's not there. Okay. Yeah. These are little informations that probably we do not know about a person. So I didn't know that she was an epigraphist during her college days, and she knows to read inscriptions. She goes to the temples and reads inscriptions. So probably if you're interested, go talk to her about it, so that she would also be really happy to share her knowledge about it. And now, going on to the next announcements. Gear up, my dear Toastmasters. Our next contest is going to be soon announced. We are going to have the humorous and evaluation contest probably by the end of August. So start your preparation. It is high time that we prepare our scripts. We prepare for the evaluations. Take up evaluation roles as it comes in. Do not wait for somebody to call you. Please take it as it comes. So that would definitely help us rehearse a lot and then be the best when contest is started. And also, club success plan is something that the XCOM is planning. We are trying to understand the requirements of each of the club members. So club VP education and subcommittee members would get in touch with you to understand your goals and what you want to achieve and pathways. What do you want to achieve with this with respect to leadership? And please be free. Please feel free to talk to VP Education at any point of time if you want to convey something. And today we had the first timer Toastmaster Samyukta. Usually in a physical meeting, we give standing ovations, but here let's give applause. Please turn on your videos and give applause for Toastmaster Samyukta. Samyukta, you did a fantabulous job today as our counter. We're looking forward to hear your icebreaker soon. Now, coming on to the business end of the meeting, where we want to know the persons who perform the best for the day. And without any further ado, let me introduce to you the best tag player goes to Toastmaster Samyukta. And the best role player goes to a person from Mexico, Toastmaster Victor Mendoza.
Thank you.
And the best TT speaker goes to Toastmaster Nikhil. For members who do not know, Toastmaster Nikhil has his own YouTube channel and he has started podcasting a lot of information. Go check it out, probably message him.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the marketing, bro. Free marketing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And the best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Anindita, and young and energetic Anindita. Yeah. And finally, the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Vidyadhar, who was very humorous today, who gave a fantastic speech about the communication.